Two unbeaten men meeting for all the belts, all the heavyweight marbles. Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. This is the show that will break down what might happen and what it means for boxing.
I'm interested in doing the biggest fights, the most money, most glamour.
The fight that we all want to see is Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk.
Do you think we could see a unification fight between these two?
This is what we want. We want the best.
These showdowns are steeped in history.
Where's Oleksandr Usyk, the rabbit?
Really belly, bien man.
Hey, rabbit! You are next!
The news that it is signed.
It's for the 4 belts.
You're fighting the best British heavyweight there's ever been.
This is just a perfect situation.
I must speak in the ring. I only really want Ukrainian of all about.
This is going to be something a little bit special.
I can't wait!
We will finally know who the top heavyweight on the planet is.
Let's get it on!
I'm now joined by Fabio as we're going to look at some footage of Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, looking at their positives and a couple of negatives and what we think will work for them in this contest. So Fabio, first of all, a positive for me is Fury's ring craft. If you look at here against Dillian Whyte, Dillian's actually boxing as a southpaw here, so it's a little bit better, controlling things with the jab, controlling the space, the distance between himself and Dillian Whyte, who was struggling to actually get to him.
This range control from him, this touch and move, some of this is definitely what you'll see as well. This manhandling, getting in close, but here I think is where you'll see the touches, feints, little bits of work from him, where he's able to just circle off, reset and go again.
Look at the distance between himself and Dillian. Now, you could say, well, it's the same for both fighters, but when you're 6'9" and you have the height and reach, it's very important for Tyson to control distance, but he does it very well behind his jab, doesn't he?
Yeah, very well. Very well behind a jab, mixed with a feint as well, and playing between the both of them, because the mix of keeping them different is what keeps your opponent guessing. If you're just feinting and going every time, whereas he may give you 2 feints, then a jab on its own, a feint, and then a go. That gives you the opportunity to close, like you said, that massive gap.
He's got decent power, he's a big man, he's a strong man, and when you're putting people like TNT Wilder on the floor, it shows that you've got good power.
Definitely. You're not going to be 19, 20-odd stone without having a bit of bang for your buck. So you're seeing here in some of these instances, he's not even really winding up too much of massive shots. Even on the inside, he was able to get off sneaky little hooks to the body or uppercuts to the head, and he's still able to work very well for such a big man.
Now let's just have a look at this one here. This is against Ngannou. This is the mistake he made. He won't be able to do this against Usyk, will he? He comes in there, leaves his feet, holds his feet there.
Stays in the space. I think that there is going to be a key moment for the Usyk fight as well, because Usyk's going to be the one wanting to close the space.
Yes.
So if you're getting caught in the middle with him as well, that's the better area for Usyk to be, is when you're in close. I haven't got to work as hard, I haven't got to find the range, you're already there for me. I think a different point on that as well was that a mistake he made there, which is something not to do with someone who is as smart as Usyk in the ring, is that he repeated the same movement. He touched, stepped in, got away with it the first time.
Yes.
Touched, stepped in, didn't get away with it the second time, got hit with the left hook, went down.
And again, this is another knockdown, but this was I think this is the first fight against Deontay Wilder. This was about around, I think it was around round 9, something like that. But look, he recognises where he is. It was a good shot that he got caught with, but he knows the situation. Now, this is the last round. This was the stuff legends are made of, because he's on his back, but he has amazing powers of recovery.
Flat on the back. Flat
on the back.
The ref is counting. I think he's still flat on the floor, and the ref gets to about 7.
Yeah.
He manages to find his feet in those last 2 or 3 seconds and comes back, and even sometimes this round almost won the round pretty much.
At the end of the round, I mean, if there'd been another minute, I think he might have put Deontay Wilder over. As he's walking back, he thinks he's won this fight, he thinks it's all over, and then he just looks across, realises that Tyson's got up, little smile on his face, but he's thinking,
smile of disbelief, that's what it is.
This is in the second fight with Deontay again. Tyson is getting on top here, but he just makes a little mistake coming forward and gets caught with a good shot. But up until this point, he's boxing quite well, Tyson.
When he's down, you never see like his eyes roll back, or he's never completely gone at all. He's almost annoyed with himself, sat on the floor like, what have I done there?
What have I done?
and gets back up and always gets himself straight back into the fight
Yes.
as well. He knows where he went wrong, he knows where he messed up, he's annoyed with himself about it and throws himself straight back into the fight.
Yeah, so he's a true champion in that he can dish it out, but he can also take it, Tyson Fury, and he's got a good chin.
No, very good chin, and then, like you say, great powers of recovery as well.
Fabio, thanks for your analysis, great stuff. I'm now joined by Jamie Moore, and we're going to take a look at Oleksandr Usyk's style. I've pointed out a few things here. Let's have a look at Usyk's movement. On the outside, he's a box of tricks, but look at the distance he's keeping. What's your take on it?
Yeah, his judgment of distance is perfect. His anticipation, that's one of his best assets, is the fact that he tends to read someone's style so well.
Yes.
His anticipation of the shots coming his way means that he has a sort of instinct to drop those counters in.
Yes.
So because his timing's so good, you make your own mistakes basically. You're walking into the shots for him, you're doing half his job for him.
And this is what I like, Jamie, about that. Look at his head movement,
That
side
sway
to
stuff.
side.
It's so difficult to nail someone clean when the head's moving that often.
Yes. And he's looking actually to punch off that movement, is he? Or he's waiting for the lead of his opponent. He's looking, he's probing, he's prodding with his own jab.
And he gets leverage because his weight's shifting from each foot, and he times the shot. You know, his head comes to the left, and then he'll drop the left hand as his head goes back to the right. So he actually adds quite a bit of weight to the shot as well.
Yeah. So let's hear, this is against Daniel Dubois, very similar. He's on the outside, movement, he's controlling things with his jab. He's clever, isn't he?
He is, and you see every time a shot comes, he sort of pulls away from it. So even if he does land, he's riding it, takes the snap out of the shot as well.
He's brilliant at that timing, isn't he? So here we're seeing full long range, bang on the button. Yeah. Movement again, I mean, look at Daniel's jab. He's just literally on the top of his head, but he's literally moving to his right. But as you say,
that shows you how good Usyk's distance is. Yeah. So he uses that disadvantage in a way of height and reach, and he uses it to his advantage. His head movement is so good that he allows the shot to slip over the shoulder, the side, and he times you right onto the end of his shot.
Yeah. Let's have a look at Usyk's power now, because he has decent power. Against Daniel Dubois, he certainly showed that, but it was a good performance against Dubois in the end.
He's calculated early on, he'll break you down. He won't take many risks at all until he feels like he's got you in that position, and then he goes through the gears.
So then he breaks you down.
He breaks you down, he gets you to the point where he feels like he can take some risks now because you're not as dangerous, and then he goes through the gears, and that's what I like about him.
Yeah. What's this? He obviously puts Daniel down here with a jab, lead hand. Let's have a look at this. Boom, there it is there. Now that's a good shot, isn't it?
Yeah, he just drops his weight onto that right side and rotates through. So he generates good power from it as well. Yeah. But it comes from that shorter side, from the blind side.
Yes.
So the opponent doesn't see that much of it. It's a really underrated shot in my book.
So he has decent power, Jamie, in both hands.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not devastating power. You're not talking Deontay Wilder type power, but enough to sort of keep you honest.
Yes.
And certainly at that stage of a fight, enough to go through the gears and get you out of there.
But every fighter's got faults, and Usyk's got faults as well. So if we look at Usyk's faults and say weakness, we know he's a little bit weak to the body.
Yeah.
Okay. And also he's susceptible to a right hand here and there. This is against AJ, where he walks onto a couple of good right hands. See, there's a shot there that went in from AJ. A good punch. Let's have a look at it here. Here's another situation. Little short right hand. Now that's a cracking shot.
It's generally when Usyk leads off that he gets caught. If he's the counter-puncher in the situation, it's very, very rare that he gets hit himself.
And that's a great example of that.
I'll tell you what, he's got a good chin.
Yes, because AJ can punch.
He holds a shot really well, yeah.
AJ can punch, can't he? So he is susceptible to the right hand here and there, but also to the body. There it is there. So we know he doesn't like the body shots. And as we go into the Daniel Dubois fight, he certainly got hurt to the body 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And so, as I was mentioning earlier on, his head movement's so good.
Yes.
And generally, he uses that type of timing from what you lead off with. He's so much more difficult for him to defend against body shots.
Yes.
And that's why I believe Tyson Fury is going to hunt him downstairs. He's going to try and work his body a lot more than people anticipate, I believe. As a coach, I would be sat there watching the tapes going, we see he's vulnerable downstairs, we need to use that.
But Jay, how does he, Tyson's 6'9", big tall, how does he get to a small man? He can't dip down and throw the shot there.
No,
does he get him on the
that's
inside?
Not his type of style. Yeah, I'd say more like the bolo shots. And Fury's thrown them a lot in the past. I think he would do that. I think maybe walking down.
So he's got to get Usyk to get close to him and then whip him through.
Whip him through. So I'd say controlling with the front hand.
Yeah.
And then timing, trying to sink him downstairs.
Yes, especially if Usyk's trying to.
And then we all know what he'll do then. Once he lands them, third one, boom, he'll grab him, hold, drag him out. Yeah. I think he's going to focus his body, I really do.
Okay. So this is, again, these are the body shots. See, that was the one that was low. I think, personally, once he knew that the referee had called it low,
Yeah, I've no doubt he would have got up.
If he starts to count, he probably gets up,
he would have got
doesn't
up,
he?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, he makes a meal of it in a way. He's trying to milk it as much as he can because the referee's already called it a low shot. I don't think it is a low. Everyone's got to agree that that's a low blow.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't
nevertheless,
low, yeah.
Before that, Jay, he still was troubled with a few body shots in this contest and against AJ.
Exactly that.
We know he's...
And you can't see a weakness in a fighter and not try and follow it through, at least to a certain extent, and have it as part of your game plan.
So, as part of the game plan that you just spoke about, does Fury concentrate on attacks or counter-attacks or counter-punching downstairs?
I think he's got to try and blend it in with his own style.
Right.
And I think he's got, as I mentioned earlier, he's got to be a little bit of a hybrid, where he does something, Usyk will then work it out. He's that clever.
Yeah.
And then he has to come away, start again, do something different. But he's got to constantly be switching from up and down, give him something to think about upstairs and then go downstairs. You start taking gas out of the tank, sinking those body shots downstairs. One of Usyk's best assets are his feet.
Yes.
So you start to even slow them down and you're
down.
halfway there to taking some of his best things away from him.
Yeah.
For a fighter who's not used to getting hit, it doesn't matter whether it's the head, the shoulders, the chest, the body, they're just getting hit. It's the psychological part of, I'm getting hit here in a fight, whereas usually I'm not used to getting hit that much.
And I think what goes against Usyk in this situation, although it was called a low blow, what goes against him is psychologically Tyson Fury knows that he's vulnerable downstairs, doesn't he?
Of course.
So this could affect him in future fights. We know it's a low blow, but nevertheless, before that, there was 2 or 3 punches that were downstairs that were legal blows, and he struggled with them, he felt them, and Tyson Fury might just be going...
It's only just on the borderline, that, as well.
Yeah,
so you might even be up for an Oscar soon.